Welcome back to Grassroots Media, and welcome back to this week's edition of the Southbound Real Estate Shawn Jones Show, where we cover everything on Rebel Hill with the South Greene Rebels. As always, I'm joined here with South Greene head coach Shawn Jones. You're back this week.
Yep.
Took a week off last week.
Yeah.
We had the DC edition with Coach Dye and Coach Case. Did you end up watching that one?
Oh yeah, it was a joy to watch. They had a good time, and we'll get us all in here one week this year and see what that's like. So, but yeah, they had a good time and they did a really good job. So I was glad to see somebody else out there besides me doing it. I'm sure the fans also get tired of watching me. So it was good to have them out here.
And they did do a good job though. We'll have to have Coach Burns on here one week. I'm still pushing for that.
Yeah,
it's going to happen one week.
Yeah, we'll get him on here. We'll see what we can do about getting him on here.
Sooner or later, whether it's this year, next year, sometime in the future, I got to get Coach Burns on here sometime.
We can do that. We'll see what we can do.
All right, cool. Let's talk about football a little bit. 47-0 win over Union County. Another big win for the Rebels on Friday night. Did it here at home on homecoming. Homecoming is always one of those nights that a coach hates, but you ended up carrying out business, a fun night for everybody involved. Talk about the night in total.
Well, it was just a good overall win. Union County don't have a really bad team. They just, I don't know if it's coaching or what. They've had 5 coaches in the last 5 years, but they've got some good athletes. Actually, last year they won a state championship in baseball, and I think some of those kids on the team. But the score is not indicative of how well Union played as far as some of the guys played. And but it's kind of crazy. You come off the emotional win at Chicky Doke, and you had homecoming sandwiched into the next rival game. So it was a big win for us. Got everybody into the game. It was on the sideline, so that's what you want to do in homecoming. So it was just a great win.
And it was a great night on defense. That's something that I've brought up every single week that I've had an interview out here on Rebel Hill. The defense allowed their offense to only 34 yards of total offense, I believe. Talk about what was clicking on defense all night.
Well, they just kept throwing it to us. We had 6 interceptions and 2 fumble recoveries and 1 for a touchdown. So it was just a good night defensively. And we played really good team tackle defense. We had a lot of the ball. We were swarming the football and than what we're supposed to do. So we feel like we're getting better there, and that's what we've had to do all year. Excuse me. We feel like the offense has scored their points, and defensively we got to get better, and that's what we're doing. Each week we hope to get better defensively, and if we do that, we have a well-rounded team, get the special teams going, and have a good shot to do something well this year.
We'll talk about offense in a second, but a lot of those scores did come on defense, as you mentioned. 8 total turnovers. A lot of those points you scored came off of those turnovers also. If you go back and watch this past Saturday's edition of the Pizza Inn Saturday Morning Kickoff Show, you can go ahead and see all 8 of those turnovers. We don't necessarily have to go through them all again because I know that's a lot to try to remember all 8 turnovers, but take us through some of your favorite turnovers that you saw.
Well, we had 2 of them. One was a scoop and score, and really they didn't touch the ground. Dion had an interception, had a defensive line with interception, and then Keyshawn took the ball from the kid. So that was 3 of the 8 right there. So that was fun to see. And Dion and Race was talking this week on Race's interception. He told Dion, he said, "Dude, don't come up from your safety position. I know exactly where we're going to throw the ball," and it went right to him. And he knew exactly what they were doing based on watching film and stuff. So it was good to see all the guys get in action. TJ got him another interception. So it was really good to see defensively for us to play that well.
Was there any play as impressive as Phillips' strip last year?
No, I still say that was that in the last 2 years, that's the best one we've had. That's the best one we've had in a long time on defense, where he just took the handoff going the other way. So impressive as 8 turnovers is, that was still the best last year what Philip had done.
I forgot about it until just a few seconds ago and thought I had to mention that, because if you remember that play just as well as we do, that was an amazing play.
Oh, yeah.
One of those plays I think you'll always remember, where you never anticipate somebody ripping the handoff away, but it ended up happening in a football game. Talk about the offense a little bit also. They were clicking on all cylinders. Nash had another great game. Jacob had another great game. You had TJ get some receptions. I think Dion scored a touchdown on offense also. Talk about the offense in total.
Well, really, we had almost 300 yards of offense, but we felt like we sputtered a little bit there. We had, had a couple turned the balls over on 4th down, and I think we actually punted 1 or 2 times. So we just felt like we was kind of off kilter a little bit on offense, but there's nights that's going to happen and the defense carries you. So if that happens and both sides of the ball are not struggling, we feel like that we're going to be okay. So it may not look like it if you were here Friday night, but we as coaches felt like we sputtered a little bit, missed some blocks, but we got that work ironed out this week. But again, it was good to see everybody get in on the action and play well. And again, homecoming here at South Greene is always special.
Speaking of getting everybody into the action, also that leads into what my next topic was going to be. Winning a game 47-0 like you were able to do, you get some of those young guys in there for them to gain valuable experience too. Talk about some of those young guys that you were able to put into the game and some of those bright glimpses that you were going to see in the future.
Well, I was able to get our freshman quarterback in, and he rushed for 61 yards, Shawn Owenby. that was really good. And you know, Trip Neese is a running back with the freshman, and he does some good stuff. And the line really, you know, we moved the ball with that second line. We were afraid, and I told the coaches on the headsets, I said, look, if we have to, when we knew we was going to start subbing in the third quarter because it was running clock, I said we may just need to leave that first line in there and put the second bunch of skill people in. I think we done that a couple plays, and we went true 2s and 3s the rest of the way, and it worked out. We went down the field and was able to score with that bunch, so that was fun to see, and glad that to happen. So, and then of course the second bunch kept them out of the end zone, so that was very fun to see. And again, you know, they practice hard just as anybody else. They sit on the sideline and cheer those younger guys, so it's good to get them extra game action on Friday night. Now they get JV action all the time. But it's good when they get in on Friday night and able to actually get out there and play well, play both on defense and offense.
Do you ever celebrate getting a shutout?
Oh yeah, we always do. That's a big deal, getting a shutout, especially in high school. It's just tough to do, so we always celebrate, you know, with a shutout and with the defense. So that's important. It's two this year. It's the exact same score, so it's pretty impressive that you get 47-0 on 2 of your 4 games and never shutouts.
The reason I asked if it was 47-0 before we cut the cameras on is whenever I was keeping notes, I accidentally put 47-0 versus Cumberland Gap because I remembered that score from earlier in the season.
Yeah.
So it's odd that you have 2 scores the exact same way in the exact same. It's weird how it mirrors each other.
Well, it's kind of weird, you know, the 2 schools. You know, you actually if you don't go all the way to Knoxville to Union County, you go down through Claiborne County and we're Cumberland Gap, and you actually go down by Cumberland Gap to get there. So it's kind of crazy too that it's those 2 schools done that way. But yeah, that's cool. I mean, it'd be really crazy if we got 3 47-0. So
and they were both at South Greene.
Yeah.
So it'd be weird if you had another one at South Greene.
Yeah. So we got 2 more chances here in the regular season. So it would be kind of crazy if that happened.
That is weird how some of them mirror each other like that. You have that sometimes where 2 games mirror each other, but not a whole lot to talk about. We covered a lot of it on Saturday. Again, if you want to check some of that out, go watch this past Saturday's edition of the Pizza and Saturday Morning Kickoff Show. You got your free breakfast pizza like you always enjoy.
That's exactly right. Somebody asked me here at school, so they got good pizza. Yeah, great breakfast pizza. So if you need breakfast pizza, go to Pizza Inn and they'll hook you up.
Also a buffet. I mean, you can get pasta, salad. You can request any pizza you like, dessert pizza. Taco pizza was always one of my favorites also. Are you a fan of that?
Oh, yeah, that's pretty good too. Yeah.
Hamburger pizza. It's weird to have a pickle on a pizza, but for some reason that kind of tastes good for some reason.
That's right. All their stuff. Our pizza has got a good place to eat. I never remember to go there a whole lot, but that's a good place to eat.
But yeah, if you want to check it out, go check that out. Also go to Pizza Inn, support them. Thank you to Kyle again for letting us come through. But that's all we got on this part. We'll go ahead and preview the big game coming up in the second half here on Grassroots Media.
Pizza Inn offers contactless buffet to go with JoJo's Family Feast or anything on our menu for carryout. We also honor birthday parties and cater to businesses and large events. We make it easy. Call us today. Pizza Inn Greenville.
Pizza, pancakes, or donuts. The Davy Crockett Travel Center in Baileyton has the cure for all your cravings. While you're there, shop our general store for souvenirs, gifts, and cellular accessories. In a hurry, grab a cold drink and a hot dog to go. Check us out on Facebook and come to Baileyton.
Welcome back to Grassroots Media, and welcome back to this week's edition of the Southbound Real Estate Shawn Jones Show, where we cover everything on Rebel Hill with the South Greene Rebel football team. As always, I'm joined here with Rebels head coach Shawn Jones. So this week, you got the big game, you got the milk can game. That's one that I know you circle on your schedule every single year. It's a big game for both schools. It's probably the best rivalry game that everybody pays attention to every single year throughout Greene County. The good news is this year it has regional implications. Both teams are now in the Region 1 2A conference. So talk about your expectations and your anticipation going into Friday night's big matchup.
Well, it's always a big game. And, you know, in the last few years, to me, it kind of lost its luster as coaches because it wasn't a regional game. But the kids and community love it. You know, kind of went through that last year. You know, I was after the West Greene game, after Chickadee beat us, you know, our seniors were really upset by losing to those 2 rival games, and they were even losing to Hampton. So, but now, you know, you could talk how, you know, you can get up for it because there's a region game, and that's what you want. Your goal at the first 2 years is to win the region. So if you want to do that, you're going to win them all. So that's the thing about it. That West Greene now is a region game. So that's what I look at it as, and, you know, community and the boys, you know, the rival and all that. But we as coaches try to instill the idea that it's a conference game, and that's what makes it important. And again, the rivalry's fun, the rivalry's good, but being a conference game is really important. Playing
West Greene every year. Going into this game, what do you expect to see from their offense and defense?
Well, man, they're going to give us their best. You know, I'm sure that, you know, we've been told over the years that, if West Greene go 1-9, as long as they beat South Greene. And so, don't know if that's true or not, but, we've been told that here on the south side of the county, but that's way it is. So, and we're going to bring their best. Watching film over the years, you thought you maybe had a chance that you could do this and that, and they come in those few years, Coach Case down there and just steamroll you because it's South Greene. And last year down there, they stayed the ball game. We felt like that we gave it away. We missed some huge opportunities to win that ball game by 2 or 3 touchdowns, and when you leave a team like that in it, they got life, and then they beat us. So we got to make sure that we don't do that this year, that we go down there and do what we're supposed to. A few years ago, we go down there and we get an interception on the very first play, score on the next play, you think you're going to run away with it, we win by 7. So you don't matter. You throw out the records when you go to West Greene, and you go down there and you're going to get their best, and that's what we expect the Friday night.
As a fan, it's fun seeing those games that are highly competitive in a rivalry game like that. But as a coach, I'm sure you don't want that to be the case. You want to be able to beat them by as many touchdowns as you can to be more comfortable on that sideline.
Oh, heck yeah. You love to beat them 50, 60 0. There was years around here we did, and it's not like that anymore. You got to go down there and you got to play and you got to show up. And so it's just trying to get the kids to understand that we got to go down there and show up and do our thing and play. Because like you say, the last 2 games they hadn't played really well if you watch them on film. But hey, they won their first 2, and they can play. They got some athletes, so we prepared this week and practiced hard this week, and we know we're going to get West Greene's best.
It's a totally different team than you saw last year. A lot of their main skill players are gone. You don't have Ethan Turner there anymore. Jaden Gregg's not there. Hunter Gregg's not there. Roger Marshall on defense is no longer there in the middle. So what do you expect out of their team on offense and defense now that you're seeing kind of a totally new look out of their team?
Well, offensively, we feel like they're going to run their wing tee. They kind of looked like away from it a little bit last year, but their new coach, he done it down at the middle school, so we feel like they're going to run their wing tee. Then they're going to try to get Daniels out of the pocket and let him do some things. And last year his legs hurt us a little bit, so we got to make sure that we keep him contained. Defensively, it's kind of crazy. They pretty much run what we run. Coach Case was down there, and he brought that defense with him when he came over here and became my defensive coordinator. So we pretty much know what they're going to do defensively. They may throw a few wrinkles out there, and we even told the guys, offensively, heck, they may throw some trick plays at us there, because just something we hadn't seen. So we got to prepare for that, and we had this week. We prepare for anything. That's just the way it's got to be in a rival game. I know I always would go watch Maryville play when Coach Quarles was down there, and it was always, no matter if they was winning 47-0 or 3-0, he had a trick play. And it was always crazy that sometimes their game is going to run a trick play. So you got to be prepared for stuff like that, especially like I said, a rival game, a conference game. It comes down to the very end. They may need something, maybe got a 3rd and long or something. So you got to be prepared for everything they throw at you.
A little bit of a side note. We had Coach Case on here last week. I asked him what the milk can game meant to him. We know how much he game plans and how much he puts into his preparation. Do you think going into the West Greene game he's going to prepare just a little extra for the Buffaloes?
Well, I think there's a bit more pressure because that's where he came from. The last few years, the first year was really tough because we go down there and it was his first year at South Greene, and some of the kids he had coached, and that was kind of big, and so now, but yeah, it's a little bit more pressure. That's where he came from. So, but he prepares every week. Just like the team's 1-0 and we're 1-0, or both teams are 9-0 trying to get to 10-0. So it's the way he prepares every week. So we feel like we got the boys prepared. I actually had a good week of practice as far as the weather goes. Kind of turned the weather hopefully around here. It's not been as hot as it has been the first year, and we've had some good practices. So I think our boys are prepared. Again, if you just can't mention West Greene and not get prepared, then you don't be playing football.
That's correct. I asked Coach Case last week. I asked the coaches out at West Greene this week. I'll ask you the same question. What does a milk can game mean to you in the rivalry?
Well, it's just that it means the community, because that's what it's all about. Because when that thing started, we had these community teams all over the state, and the community teams were very important to the people, and so it's very important to our community, and that's what it means to me. Is bring it back here to our community. Like I say, as a coach, you look at it as another game. The kids and the school and the community look at it as bragging rights for the year. So that's what it means. It means more to those people than it does to us as coaches, and that's cool. And that's the way I like it. That we got people that support us. We got people out there that really feel for this game and get upset if we lose, and then we're excited if we win. So that's really what it means.
The last 2 years that we've had this conversation about the milk can game, we've not been able to mention regional implications. So we'll go ahead and do that this year. How important would it be to be able to carry out a win on Friday night, not only carry that milk can back across the river to the south side of the county, but also go 2-0 within conference play.
To me, that's what it's all about, because if you want to, it works out every other year. If you can win the region, which we're the odd region, then you're at home for the whole playoffs, and that's why we're trying to instill with the guys. It was that way 2 years ago when we got upset by Oneida. That hey, if you can win the region, all right, win all your games, that you do not leave South Greene High School for the playoffs, and to me that'd be really cool. They get that opportunity to know that you do not have to leave this place until you go. If you make it to the state championship, that's what you tell the boys. Hey, that's the only time you have to leave this place. So that's how important it is. Milk can's important. West Greene is important, but it's a conference game. To us coaches, what the biggest thing is.
You always got to look at the bigger picture.
That's right.
What are your 3 keys to success you need to carry out this week in order to get a win on Friday night?
We got to try to force turnovers like we have been doing on defense. Again, when we get inside the red zone, we got to score. A couple times this year we've turned it over downs inside the red zone, and we got to win the kicking game and field position. So if we do that, we feel like we have a chance to win.
All right, that's it. Like he said, I don't know if you really need to talk about it even more. When you mention South Greene and West Greene in the same sentence, and that milk can's on the line, it's going to draw a big crowd. Each team's going to deliver their A game. It's at 7:30. It's on the range for the second year in a row on Friday night. Milk can game will be on the line. I think it goes without saying that this is going to be our game of the week this week. I think everybody knows that going into every year, that whatever week the milk can game lands on is going to be our game of the week. So that'll be here on the Grassroots Media YouTube channel. We'll kick off at around 6:45, 7 o'clock with kickoff at 7:30 on the range. If you can make it out to the game, go out to West Greene, support both teams, support the Rebels if you're watching this and if you're a Rebel fan. If you're a West Greene fan watching this, go out and support West Greene. But Coach, that's all I've got for you this week. Thank you for joining me again for another week. Thank you all for watching this week's edition of the Southbound Real Estate Shawn Jones Show. We look forward to seeing you next time here on Grassroots Media.
Go Vols, and how about them Cowboys?